Hi, everybody. This is Gat Sad. A few moments ago, I got home from a lunch date with my wife. As we were driving back home, I was describing to my wife what I consider to be the singularity of victimology poker, the singularity of intersectionality. Specifically, I was describing the following. A trans woman walks into a wax parlor requesting, I believe, a Brazilian wax, and the person who provides that service is a Muslim woman who refuses to provide that service, and so the owner of the establishment advises the trans woman that unfortunately they cannot oblige her request. Upon describing this case to my wife, she looks at me and says, "Your brain is one scary place." I said, "Well, what do you mean?" She goes, "How do you come up with these cases? Unbelievable," or something to that effect. I said, "Oh, okay, I get it. So you're thinking this is satire." She goes, "Oh, this wasn't satire?" I said, No, I was actually describing an actual case that happened. So even my wife, who has the pleasure and privilege of sharing her life with me, who has been exposed firsthand to endless manifestations of my satire, wasn't able to tell whether the case that I had just described to her was Gad satire or whether it was a real case. This is how far down the abyss of infinite lunacy we've gotten. So, to make it clear again, this is an actual case that I'm describing. It happened about, I think it was reported on maybe 10 days ago. And many thanks to all of the followers who alerted me to the case. I haven't had a chance to comment on it till now. So there you have it. Fantastic case. On the one hand, you've got someone with a straight flush hand in victimology poker, a trans woman, and then one can argue someone with an equally strong victimology poker hand, a Muslim woman. Who's going to win? The person in the left corner or in the right corner? By the way, this exactly speaks to the general point that I was making in my Canadian Senate testimony. You know, the testimony wherein I explained to the senators that anything that I say in an evolutionary psychology course could be construed as systemic, quote, systemic transphobic violence, because, you know, I'm promulgating, quote, fixed binaries and biological essentialism, close quote, to which one of the luminary senators said that I was pro-genocide. Well, what I was trying to explain there is that the devil is in the details. Everyone who is a reasonable person wants all individuals to be protected under the law in exactly the same way. No one is contesting that. But the fact that now we could have a situation like the lunacy that I just explained. I mean, think about it. You could walk into a place and say, ignore my 9-inch penis. Okay, I'm a woman. Now, come on, let's have that Brazilian wax. And please, who cares about your rights? Don't look at my penis. I'm a woman. And you better acquiesce to this, or else you're transphobic. In this case, it's a bit more difficult because the one who's refusing to offer that service and, you know, ignore the 9-inch penis is someone who also scores highly in victimology poker. So if she were a white guy who's an evangelical Christian, then that person would have been tarred and feathered. But to the extent that she holds also a very powerful hand in victimology poker, that's what makes this case interesting. Who will win? Who will scream, "I'm a victim, therefore I am," louder? This is the problem with the current zeitgeist. It's not, "I think, therefore I am." The currency is, "I'm a victim, therefore I am." So any reasonable person would say, look, I understand. I've got my gender identity issues. People should not discriminate against me when I apply for a job or when I go and try to rent an apartment because of my gender identity. But is it reasonable for the average woman to say, I do not wish to perform an intimate service on you, such as a Brazilian wax, because notwithstanding the fact that you might self-identify as a woman, surely you could put yourself in my position, this little thing called theory of mind, and recognize that as a woman, I don't feel comfortable, handling your 9-inch penis? No, you can't imagine how that might be the case. The Muslim woman must be a hateful bigot, transphobic bigot. This is the problem. When the currency that defines your personhood becomes how loudly you can scream that you're a victim, you know that we're off on the wrong track. There you have it, folks. I'm doing my best to try to infuse our world with some common sense, with some human decency, with some commitment to reason. I'm not sure if I'm succeeding or failing, but I will continue to try. I can promise you that. Have a good weekend, everybody. Cheers.